I'm saying this out the gate. Sorry if you hear dogs barking in the background. Neighbors' dogs acting up for some reason. Um, the criticism my stores have been getting for years now, and my issues with trying to change them, because the stores that get criticism most, well, all my stores get heavy criticism, but the stores I try to write that get criticism the most for is Tiger Man and Goofanoid. These are two characters I'm very attached to. But no one wants, for extra, for reasons. In the case of Tiger Man, people are now reacting to the fact that I had the stories about a 12-year old boy who makes a bad deal with fairy godmother and gets turned to a were tiger, and that goes around killing people, and that somehow makes me a pedophile even though he never had sex at all at any point. Um, the thing is, I can't really age him up to 16 years old, because all the stories I want to tell with the character involve involve three things. Well, especially the last one. Him learning about the supernatural, him learning how to control his powers, and especially what to do with his powers. Now, if he's 16 years old, uh, then he would have 4 years of experience. Because everybody wants me to age his character up to being an adult for some reason. Well, if he's 16 years old, he will already have 4 years experience. So we're supposed to believe he doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't know how to control his powers. He doesn't know how the supernatural works, and he doesn't know what to do with his powers. So still haven't figured out what to do with his powers in 4 years, and that's kind of a problem. The only workaround I can see for this, the only workaround I can see for this is him having been in a coma for 4 years, and yeah, I mean, because think about it. Why would Princess Sapphire, that's the fairy godmother's name, uh, make that deal with an adult that she can't easily emotionally manipulate? Uh, and because she wants a slave so that she easily uses an attack dog to kill the fairy royal family's enemies after old one died. So teenagers already rebellious as it is. So why would she make that deal with a 16-year-old? That just doesn't work. So the only way I can have him just age up to be an adult was he was in a coma for 4 years, because I was not interested in telling a story about him with years of experience already, because Tiger Man, the whole most of the stories I want to write about involve him figuring out was the how to control his powers, uh, and what to do with his predicament. What's the most moral thing to do in his predicament? Yeah, if we're 4 years in, when he already have all the experience already. So unless you assume he's doing nothing for 4 years, or was in a coma for 4 years, or something like that. So that the only way this could work is it work if he was in a coma for 4 years, which and in regards to Goofanoid, okay, the main criticism I get is that he isn't a superhero enough, because no one is interested in that clown guy with prank gadgets running around fighting crime. But so I would have to do something to make it more interesting. So um I got I got to explain this. But basically, people want to change Goofanoid to add in superpowers to make him seem more compelling in fight scenes. But then the villains is just too weak though. That's the thing. Really, most of Goofanoid's villains are either regular, ordinary humans with good gimmicks, or vaguely supernatural beings. Like not even explicitly. Now, in the case of Chromaster, is explicitly a supernatural being, but it's a talking scarecrow. How's a scarecrow that comes to life going to threaten a god? We can't. That's kind of the issue here. No, I'm not really interested in writing stories about Goofy fighting other guy like beings or anything like that. So I don't really. So what am I supposed to do? I don't have an interest in Goofy fighting guy like beings. So what? I gotta have him lose his powers in every issue because I legit do not care about him having to fight guy like beings. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have any story about guy like beings fighting each other. Even the most powerful hero I'm interested in writing about, the Golden Knight, Todd Reeves, he just he doesn't act, it's not really about him fighting villains. It's more so just about him just saving people from disasters. I changed the occupation. It's no longer a policeman, it's a fireman. But it's basically he saves people from disasters using superpowers, or at least tries best to. Sometimes disasters caused by giant monsters or whatnot, but it's just not really about the villains. The villains are there, but it's not about them. And that's kind of the issue here. Like Golden Knight does. It's not really about Golden Knight fighting anybody. It's just there's no really nothing really I can do that can make that interesting. Uh, especially it's just while he's transformed to Golden Knight, he's basically indestructible. So because there's no reason real way I can make the fights interesting. Now, back to Goofanoid. I have no interest in bottom fighting guy like beings. Keep in mind, this is not a quick fix. His main villain is literally a regular guy, an ordinary human being who puts people in death traps. I even thought about going into Blender and making a design for him as well, but I highly doubt anybody would care since nobody follows me on Twitter or reacts to my Twitter art posts in any way whatsoever. Professor Payne is literally just a guy. It's an ordinary human being in a suit who puts in a suit of metal armor, who puts people in death traps, and that's his entire shtick, and builds torture devices. Essentially is any more powerful than Jigsaw Killer, which makes sense considering that base pretty much all of Goofanoid's villains are horror concepts, to contrast the hero who is a comedy concept because he's a clown. Nah. Um. Back to Tiger Man. Um. Okay. Uh, people say for some reason that I can't have him be a 12-year-old in this story. Trying to figure out how, but the story has to happen when he first gets his powers. Since the only stories I'm interested in telling is about him learning what to do with his powers, but learning about the supernatural and how to deal with these predicaments. But if he has 4 years of experience, then we can't have that. Then I can't have that. So I gotta figure out some way for him for him to be an adult because adults are terrified of stories with children. Well, start reading stories about children, especially when the stories involve children killing people. But also but my story needs to have him be super inexperienced. By story needs to have him be super inexperienced. So I gotta figure out some way for him to be super inexperienced. So maybe have him just being the only logical option is for me just to have him be in a coma for 4 years, so that he can be 16 years old, so that the adults won't call me adults really won't call me a pedophile for some reason, even though he never had sex, or no one even tries to have sex with him. Even though it just goes around killing people. But then we also gotta explain how he's inexperienced. So I gotta get so also why would the fairy wait? I gotta figure out how to get this to make logical sense. Yeah, him being 12-year-old is kind of what I built the story around. Built what I story around. So built the story around because because there's no reason the fairy godmother would choose an adult that she can't easily manipulate and control to have the powers to have the curse really, because Tiger Man is more of a curse than the power. Because she wants him to be a slave in order to kill the royal family's enemies. But also, if he had to be in a coma for 4 years, she would just pick somebody else. So again, this doesn't make sense. And it's like this, and because and people, the writing criticism I seem to get isn't really based off writing itself for the most part. It's based off what's not what is or what is not marketable. It's not really based on what makes sense in the story. Like I recently got criticism for a character I'm not very attached to. A character I thought of called Roachinator, who is a woman who turns herself into a roach mutant in a lab experiment going RE, and is basically used by the Australian government to fight whatever because she's super tough now, super hardy now because she's a mutant roach. Now that's a character I'm not super attached to, who might appear in some stories here and there, but I'm not really super attached to having her as a leading lady. But apparently it's just the worst concept ever because it's a roach woman, because roaches are gross and this doesn't appeal to them. This doesn't appeal to a male audience. But I don't at least in a sexual way. But I don't really care about appealing to anyone in a sexual way. No, I'm not super attached to it. I think Roachinate is a cool concept. Like I do think Roachinate is a cool concept, but no one uh 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 because I thought, what if I made like he's a mutant cockroach lady. I mean, she thinks of herself as gross, as an alcoholic to drown her sorrows for the fact that she's a hideous bug monster now, and and is being used by the Australian government to fight monsters because she's super hardy and can take any form of damage so long as it doesn't completely obliterate her body. So So, like to me, it just doesn't. To me, the concept of a roach mutant, somebody cursed to become a roach mutant, and then going around and then being used as basically a glorified punching bag for a story, for a story. I don't know how long I might keep that character around if I include that character at all. But but I'm still kind of uncertain about that one. But the problem is like I've seen things like I have to change myself in the stories I'm interested in telling. Like Tiger Man is fundamentally a story about him figuring out what's the right thing to do with his curse. Which I if he has 4 years of experience, I can't do that. Goofanoid is fundamentally about a clown fighting a bunch of slasher villains and stuff with with silly prank toys, silly joke toys. That's just what I want to write about. Uh, Distortion is fundamentally about a woman, a rich, formerly blind party girl, um, who now inherits the father's company, tech company, and must take care of the bad actors using a visibility suit. Because there's a bunch of bad actors on the investment board. That's what the story is. That's the story I'm fundamentally just want to tell. This is, uh, she used the visibility powers to sabotage the plans of evil people. That's just what I'm interested in writing about. If she has another power, then there's no reason for her to turn invisible. I mean, she already technically does have another power. She can see UV light and infrared light, but that's just kind of glorified X-ray vision. Well, like uh, so yeah. So so what I'm seeing me doing now is I'm still doing my Age of 22 one shot. I gotta build. I've only got 3 pages so far, but I gotta build all the props for the next few scenes. There's a lot of 3 assets I gotta build myself for this comic I'm working on right now. Um, Red Hotel about the genetically modified hitman who's coming to take care of who's assigned to a mission. I mean, it's not going to be a long comic or a huge comic game like that, but it's still going to take a long time to make, just due to all the 3D assets I need to build. I got to push through that wall and get my first comic out. Stop caring about rewriting the stories. Depends on heavy criticism when I can't really think of another story I'm interested in telling. Like like no one wants to show up to that stream I want to do where uh where I was going to come, I have people help me come up with fake beer brands, fake beer brands to show appear in this comic. That is, I just come up with a quick parody of my own. Instead of beef eater is pork eater. Because the criticism, that's the thing, the criticism of my stories isn't really valid. Well, the criticism isn't that the plot of Tiger Man doesn't make sense. Is that Tiger Man is a child, even though he doesn't act unrealistically for a child. I mean, uh, I mean, I mean, the Tiger Man persona is not the same as Omar, exactly the same as Omar. Where's the issue? The criticism I get a Goofanoid is he's a clown. Like the very premise itself is the criticism. It's not the criticism is not how I write the story. The criticism is the premise itself. The criticism I get of Distortion is that her only power is to turn invisible. That's the criticism I get. I don't the people that people don't people are literally criticizing me for the premise. Like that is the premise of the character. She turns invisible. And she solves her problems with that one power. She doesn't need any other power beyond just turning invisible. But that just kind of kills the story. She doesn't get into fights because she's oftentimes facing against grown men as a woman, and she's no stronger than the average woman. She's just gonna get her ass kicked. She's got to hide it and then sabotage what the villain's plans is, and then figure out how not to get caught. There are characters. There are characters like this all the time in other stories. So why is that a problem here? Because it's the main character. Um, yeah. They'll play characters who rely entirely on stealth. I forget his name. Looking him up now. I forgot what's one character's name. It's the most famous one too. So in fact, I forgot his name. Yeah, I hadn't watched it such a long time. I forgot. The fact I don't remember the main character's name is bizarre. Wait, let me look this up. Griffin. Yeah, I knew it was Griffin. I just didn't know the first name. Oh, Jack Griffin. No, Jack Griffin. That's his name. Jack Griffin. Now, obviously, Jack Griffin. but also Sticks the Goblin, who just relies entirely on stealth and nothing else. Uh, Chameleon, the Spider-Man villain, he relies entirely on stealth as well. How the hell you not know who Jack Griffin is? It's one of the classic Universal horror movie monsters. Like I'm responding to the chat here for the first time, for the first time here. It's like it's impossible not to know who Jack Griffin is. Like it's one of the classic Universal horror movie monsters. How you not know? How you not know one of the Universal horror movie monsters? It's kind of dumb. Sticks the Goblin is the protagonist of a video game franchise called Sticks. Oh man, Chameleon is a Spider-Man villain. I think it's actually Spider-Man's first villain. It's a guy who wears disguises. That's his whole shtick. That's because no one really does anything with the Invisible Man. The only classic Universal horror monsters that's used frequently nowadays in modern pop culture are Frankenstein and Dracula. That's it. No one even cares to write about the uh, the other Universal horror movie monsters. Uh, the no one cares about the Invisible Man or the creature from the Black Lagoon. And Sticks is a good video game. I'm still playing it right now. And it has a sequel. Like it has multiple games. But the thing is, it came out in the 2010s era, where stealth games are basically on a game. So the stealth games kind of reached a new low in popularity. So um, like so you yeah, but I take a lot. One thing about me is I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different sources. No, me basing me having an idea me coming up with Tiger Man confuses a lot of people since I'm writing about a child becoming a violent anti-hero. Uh, but I had thought that, but this one inspiration for Tiger Man is actually Ghost Rider. Like the story essentially is Ghost Rider, but it's a little kid. A lot of people don't seem to even get that's inspiration. Because the story, because if you know the story of Ghost Rider is that this guy Johnny Blaze made a bad and then gets turned into a flaming skull monster that's cursed to just hunt criminals in the night forever. I just want to make a similar story to that, but it's a little kid, but it's a little kid, and he makes a deal with a fairy godmother to become more courageous, and she turns him into a she creates this alternate persona that this kind of violent were tiger douche that who is very courageous, but also kind of a douchebag. And then he must learn the how that he transforms into it whenever he gets extremely frightened. And and uh and the story is just based around him trying to figure out what he wants. What should he do with his curse now? That's especially when he decides he's not going to be Princess Sapphire's slave like what she wanted. I mean, I do have a rose gallery for Tiger Man. I got a bunch of villains that I plan to use because the obviously because for reasons. One is a giant talking rooster called Cockhead. That's a supernatural being that comes back to life after. So so it really can't get rid of him. Uh, and then we have Dark Weaver, who's like who's a arachnid, uh, and it's a celebrity. So and the predicament that Dark Weaver puts Tiger Man in is that since she's a celebrity, public figure, uh, he can't kill her without having the police do a full manhunt on him. Like they won't like the general public is gonna hate. So he got to figure out to expose her for being the villain first, then kill her. That's the moral predicament he's in. They see what I mean by I want to tell stories about characters and about this character going through weird moral predicaments. What he should do with his powers. I mean, an early story I want to tell. Early story I want to tell with Tiger Man involves him sparing a villain called Mosquito Man once he realizes he's also a victim of Princess Sapphire. The Mosquito Man is a guy. It's really a harmless villain. He's a guy who sucks and drinks fruit juice. The Mosquito Man like comes with he Tiger Man realizes from Mosquito Man they shouldn't kill all his villains. Just some of these villains can actually be redeemed. That's what he learns immediately from Mosquito Man. Man, even I want to have that Tiger Man even try to redeem Tiger Shark. The Tiger Shark. Um, After Tiger Man killed a bunch of sex traffickers, um, one of the times I wanted to name the sex traffickers he killed. One of the uh, one of the sex traffickers he killed had a son because it was an emotionally unstable druggy guy who was kidnapping people and selling them to sex slavery because they needed his fix. Was emotionally some emotionally unstable guy who need money. He needs money to pay for him and his homeless son because they both mentally ill. Him and his son because he mentally ill. Got a son they got to take care of. So he just kidnaps girls and sells them to sex slavery so he can get money so he can so he can pay to feed himself and his son. Now, Tiger Man killed that guy, but because that son's now living by himself, eating out dumpsters, and then uh, Princess Sapphire makes a deal with that kid to turn him into a shark man monster in order to kill Tiger Man. Yeah, so yeah, he struggled to remain moral during all of this. Like you realize that some of these villains can be redeemed. He tries his best to redeem some of them. But it doesn't matter. Wait, the child protective services. It doesn't matter. Dad's dead. Dad gets killed. It gets killed by Tiger Man. So the child protective service is not going to come for a child they don't even know about. They don't even know about. Like you don't seem to understand that. Like they're both homeless. Dad's a criminal, and the dad gets killed. So it's not that he gets arrested. There's so many bodies at the event that they can't keep track of all the people who died during the slaughter. Uh, Another news. I've recently finally completed a run of XCOM Enemy Unknown. Um, it was a great game. I'm probably going to play Enemy Within for the first time. But Enemy Unknown, that was great. It was ultimately Russia that saved the day at the end. Two Russian soldiers that saved the day at the end. Well, shit coincidence. Because I do not customize the soldiers too much. I just ran with whatever the game gave me. Like, it's a great strategy video game. I still ain't nowhere near finished Infinite Factory or Kenshi. I'm still state of level grinding Kenshi. Like my party. Most recently, my previous session almost died. We came back from the and we're still not in a state to fight. Uh, the metal working business ain't really successful yet because we're not making amazing weapons. Well, so the weaponsmith skill is still low. You know that's the main way we're supposed to be making be making money, but we're not make but my main character's name is Tack, the player character I designed for myself because his weaponsmith skill is high enough to actually create amazing stuff. So we're not getting any kind of income yet. We just kind of grinding at this point in the game. I'm still too scared to just travel outside the border zone because I do not want to get actually what the game calls them. It's big things. So the dad will take care of his son despite being a trafficker, even though he could just drop his son off at an orphanage for better care. It's like, um, the whatever. Like, like whatever. It's just, we're not really thinking about that when you read the story. Especially when it's a minor character we don't really know. Like we don't really know anything about that. We don't really know about that guy. We learn about him and after he dies, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, that's the end of the stream. Uh, like and share it around.